and welcome to a new month with Jolie. I have this month's Cards, Tags, and More kit sitting here in front of me, and I was so happy because it has an already cut down Slimline paper pack in here, and as y'all know, Slimlines are my favorite card size. They just are. And if you don't know, well, Slimlines are my favorite card size. I don't know why, but they are. I love them. Anyhow, the basis of Slimline card is to just fit into your regular number 10 envelopes, US letter size envelopes, although A4 paper isn't as wide, so A4 would fit in just as well. Anyhow, Slimlines were made to fit in number 10 envelopes. Okay, to go over real quick here what is in the kit, what I'm going to be working with. There is this pack of dusty blue, let me see what the official name might be. Lolita Aqua Splash. That was their official name on here from Little Birdie Crafts. There is a pack, 2 pieces of Jolie chipboard, a couple of little butterflies there. There is some nice bright white cardstock in here, 6 sheets of that. And then the Dusty Rose Slimline paper pack, and there's 24 papers in here, 3 sheets of each design. So go over that real quick. And then to go with those, there is a pack of coordinating die cut ephemera, and I'm just going to kind of throw them out here real quick like. And that is this month's kit. So, obviously, quite obviously, I'm going to be working on some Slimline cards. I think I will do a couple for this week. See what I can come up with. Maybe I'll do one that is flat enough to go into an envelope on its own. Maybe one with some extra bulk. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see there. All right, just my little notes to myself so I remember what I'm working with. The pre-cut Slimline paper pack is 3.5 by 8.5 inches. A number 10 envelope is 4 1/8 by 9.5 inches. And then the cardstock in the kit is US letter size 8.5 by 11 inches. All right, so for the base, I cut it down so that it was 8 inches, so folded in half. It is 4 inches by 9.25 inches, and that gives it enough space there. It fits into a number 10 envelope, so long as it's going to remain flat. Maybe I should say that. Since these are conveniently pre-cut, it is now just a matter of, say, stacking them on, creating some layers on here. I am going to make up a couple of bases. I'm going to make another one so that I can work on a couple of different cards. One I think I will keep flat so that it can go into an envelope. The other one might get a little extra bulk put on it. Have to see. I think I have everything picked out. Got my piles kind of going here. I am going to get some of the gessoing done. Going to put a coat of gesso on the butterfly, and at least to start on my top pieces, the ones I have decided will be the top pieces. So this one and this one, I will get those taken care of right now and let them dry up. All of my gesso has dried. I have my 2 front panels there and the butterfly. To add a little bit of color to the butterfly, I'm going to use the Botanical Stains that are from this month's mixed media kit. You could use any paints you have on hand, embossing powders, nothing. You could leave it natural if it works best for you. But I want to add these Botanical Stains. We have Woad Blue in there, and Marigold, and Black Bean. I'm going to focus the Black Bean mainly for the body and just play around with the Marigold and the Woad Blue on the wings and see how it comes out. I don't mind the chipboard, the natural chipboard underneath. These papers do already have, some aging to it, an aged look, distressed look. So that natural chipboard will work as a base color. So let's see here. I'll grab a few smaller brushes, I guess, just to dab in and play around with. So for the body, I'm just going to use that Black Bean and kind of dab it on. I'm not brushing it on. I'm not going to try to create an even coat. If it's splotchy and uneven, all the better in my view. On this bottom, I am using that Woad Blue. I'm not drawing in between. If there's a little bit of mixing, I don't mind it. Give a more of a like watercolor painting feel. In my opinion, I think it will. I hope it will. It's what I'm kind of picturing in my head. And I think I'll try a second layer. Maybe it'll darken it up. Kind of experimenting here. These are very much like watercolors. They are a dye ink, so they are very translucent. If you haven't opened them up and seen them yet, you can see there how they are. If you wanted them to show up more, you didn't necessarily want the natural chipboard color underneath, a white gesso would work fabulously, or really any light colored paint, a lighter colored paint would probably work too. This card will be my first one to do to finish up, since I already have that butterfly going there. Get the pieces, maybe something like so. I think I'm just going to kind of cut some strips out of here to build a frame. Yes, that works. That works nicely for me. They are just 1/2 inch wide strips, and I'm going to eyeball them into place. There's that. My little bit of extra border there, just cutting little strips off and piecing them together back around as a frame. I finished cutting my sentiment tab down, getting the excess cut off. I think, well, I'm going to trim down the little wax seal. For the flower ephemera, I'm going to use the marigold. And for the sentiment and the wax seal, I'm going to use the woad blue. After I started playing around, I realized I would just wanted to get the ephemera wet. It doesn't have gesso on it, so everything's going to soak in. But I really liked the color of this marigold to add that yellow orange hue to everything. And while it's still wet, I can kind of come through and soak up a bit, and then just either let it air dry, or once I have all of my pieces how I want them, I will just use a heat gun on them. All right, before I start piling everything up, I'm just going to add some splatters of that marigold onto this paper, this piece here. Just a few. There's that. And I was debating whether or not to add a little bit of lift. And even though this is my flatter card that should slide into the envelope, I still think I'm going to add just a little bit of lift. I have this double-sided adhesive tape kind of foam. It's a very thin foam. It's not thick at all. So there. And that's what I'm going to use on this. I'm just going to lay it out and hope the adhesive is still working. Not super thick, but it does add a little bit of lift. So now it is just a matter of building this up, seeing how I'm going to be putting everything on, how I want it to. There you have it. Card number 1 completed. So on to card number 2. For this card, I'm thinking I'm just going to offset my layers, not create a frame, just a little bit of offset, and to conserve paper, I guess. I don't need this section here, so I'm just going to cut an L-shaped edge there. I just did a 3/4 edge just to layer it up like so. Add the same foam tape from the other card since it's out and here and available. It turns out for this one, once I got going, I don't think I'm going to do anything extra but a couple of flowers and this little sentiment. So even though this card will be thicker because of the flowers, I think it's actually even simpler than the first one because there's less pieces on it. And I think the most I will do is just splatter on some color, maybe. But I think I'm going to use the black bean on this card front. Get my flowers glued into place. And I think just to add some stability to the words, I'm going to back them with this foam and then finish trimming down the excess. I'm just going to add extra glue to the backs since it's not going to be on a flat surface. I'm going to add the sentiment to the flower petals, and that's just going to add a little extra hold. Now the second card is finished. So in a relatively short period of time, using this month's Cards, Tags, and More kit and some of the Botanical Stains from this month's Mixed Media kit, you have yourself a couple of Slimline cards. One card I did is still flat enough to fit into a number 10 envelope. The second card with the flowers on it, I'm pretty sure you're not going to fit in here, at least not well. I don't think the envelope would be quite stretchy enough to really make it. Oh, look at that, you can. It actually does still fit into this number 10 envelope, although I personally wouldn't want to do that. I'm just going to say that it would be a much flatter card by the time it got to its destination. That would be my guess. Anyhow, a couple of Slimline cards done in a relatively quick time frame. I don't even think that, even with me talking and recording and going a little bit slower since I was talking about what I was doing, I don't think it was an hour and a half total time. I hope they gave you some ideas of what you can do with the items from this month's Cards, Tags, and More kit. Maybe the Mixed Media kit or some inks or stains or paints or what have you that you might already have in your stash. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up and feel free to share this video. Thank you, and I will see you again next week.